Good morning, everyone. I'm starting with a new chapter, which is forces and laws of motion. We have covered the chapter motion already, and in that chapter, we studied some basic concepts of velocity, acceleration, distance, displacement. So please keep those topics fresh in your mind because we will be using some terms such as constant velocity, acceleration in this chapter also. So in this chapter, which is forces and laws of motion, let's start this chapter. So we will study these topics. The first is forces and its types. In your lower classes, you have been studying about what is a force and what are different types of forces. Even in your previous class, you studied about frictional forces and many other types of forces. But in this chapter, we will study some basic two types of forces which are balanced and unbalanced forces. So basically, all types of forces which are frictional forces, they come under this category. ठीक है, so they are the basic forces. इनके इस कैटेगरी के अंदर और forces आते हैं. So these are balanced or unbalanced forces. The next is Galileo's experiment with marbles. So now, since the chapter is all about motion, forces and laws of motion, so Galileo did an experiment with marble balls. He tried to learn, or he tried to understand the motion of the marbles when the marbles move on an inclined plane. So we will see that also. Third is the inertia. So we will study what do you mean by inertia. It's a new term for you people. Uh, then we will move to Newton's laws of motion. So there are three laws of motion, which is first law of motion known as the law of inertia. There is a second law of motion जिसके लिए आपको momentum के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. What do you mean by term momentum? What is its physical meaning? Then we have Newton's third law of motion. ये सुना होगा सबने कहीं ना कहीं पे वही every action has equal and opposite reaction. So that is all about Newton's third law of motion. We will also study their links between these motion. कैसे जो है Newton's third law of motion, second law of motion से आता है, and like that. Then we will move to conservation of momentum, which is the last topic in your chapter. Okay, so how does the momentum is conserved? Just like energy, we say that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So we will learn about the conservation of momentum also. The last, we will cover some formulas in this chapter and the numericals related to those formulas. So moving on, yeah. So what do you mean by force? A basic definition of the force is a push or a pull on any object. So if an object is at rest, if an object is at rest on a table, it does not move unless and until you apply any external force, right? बट यहाँ से फोर्स बोलना काफ़ी है क्या? क्योंकि अब हम दो टाइप के फोर्सेस पढ़ने वाले हैं. एक हम पढ़ेंगे बैलेंस्ड फोर्सेस, एक हम पढ़ेंगे अनबैलेंस्ड फोर्सेस. सो बैलेंस्ड फोर्सेस, तो अगर मुझे एक्सप्लेन करना है कि व्हाट इज अ फोर्स, ठीक है, तो उसके लिए मैं बैलेंस्ड फोर्स समझना पड़ेगा पहले और अनबैलेंस्ड फोर्स समझना पड़ेगा. So here is just a definition given. Force is an external effort which move a body at rest or stop a moving body. तो अगर कोई body rest पे है and you apply any external force, okay, external मतलब क्योंकि आप बाहर से force लगा रहे हो, body अपने आप खुद से force नहीं लगा रही है. So it starts to move. Now, if a body is moving and you apply any external force, then you can stop the body. Okay, so this force can be used to either move the body or stop the body, or it can change the speed of the moving body, or also change the direction of the moving body. So there are many things that a force can do. So some effects of force can be seen in these lists, which is force can move a body at rest. True. Force can stop a moving body. Force can change the speed of a moving body. Force can change the direction of a moving body, and it can even change the shape and size of a body. So we will see these examples in our next slides. Now in the right hand side, you see some SI unit. Now what is an SI unit? So you know that the SI unit of distance is meters. The SI unit of time is seconds, right? आप बोलते हो कि time अभी 20 seconds है, 30 seconds है, minutes भी बोलते हो, hours भी बोलते हो, लेकिन SI unit seconds है, minutes नहीं है, hours नहीं है. तो फोर्स का एसआई यूनिट क्या होता है? एसआई यूनिट ऑफ फोर्स इज कॉल्ड एज न्यूटन आफ्टर द नेम ऑफ द साइंटिस्ट सर आइजैक न्यूटन। तो एसआई यूनिट फोर्स का हो गया न्यूटन, उसका सिंबल होता है कैपिटल एन। 1 न्यूटन, 1 न्यूटन को हम ऐसे भी लिखते हैं विच इज केजी, विच इज द एसआई यूनिट ऑफ मास। meters is it as SI unit of the distance, but this whole quantity, you know this right, अभी हमने पिछले चैप्टर में ही पढ़ा है इसको, ये किसका SI यूनिट है? meters per second square, you remember? Yeah, so meters per second square is the SI unit of acceleration. Got it? So ये क्या बन जाता है? ये है SI यूनिट मास का, ये है SI यूनिट एक्सेलरेशन का। तो यही से पता चल रहा है कि भाई सो फोर्स इज नथिंग बट मास टाइम्स एक्सेलरेशन। दिस इज द सेकंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन जो हम बहुत आगे जाके पढ़ेंगे, बट फॉर नाउ जस्ट see what do you mean by force, what is its SI unit. The SI unit of the force is Newton. Also it is written like this, which is kg, meters per second square. All right, so you can see that 1 Newton किसके बराबर है? 1 Newton is equal to 1 kg मीटर्स पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर। तो या तो आप ये यूज कर सकते हो फोर्स के लिए, या फिर आप ये भी यूज कर सकते हो। ऑलराइट, so if I say that the force acting on a body is 20 newtons, so I can say that the force acting on a body is 20 kg meters per second square. All right, okay, so moving to the next part, which is balanced and unbalanced forces. Now, as the name suggests that the balanced forces का मतलब है कि कोई भी एक ऑब्जेक्ट है उस पे लेट्स से टू फोर्सेस एक्ट कर रहे हैं। ओके, सो बैलेंस का मतलब यही है कि वो दोनों फोर्सेस इक्वल होंगे। इक्वल मतलब उनकी वैल्यूज इक्वल होंगी, दे विल बी इक्वल इन मैग्नीट्यूड। हम ऐसे बोलते हैं टर्म मैग्नीट्यूड जब उनकी वैल्यूज इक्वल होती हैं। ऑल्सो फॉर द फोर्सेस टू बी बैलेंस दे शुड बी एक्टिंग ऑपोजिट टू ईच अदर। अगर वो एक ही डायरेक्शन में एक्ट करेंगे तो वो एड अप हो जाएंगे, then the force will not be a balanced force. Okay, so balanced force का मतलब है, I am reading the definition. So if two forces act on a body in opposite direction, अभी हम यहाँ सिर्फ two forces से explain कर रहे हैं, there can be more than two forces also. Okay, so if two forces, okay, F1 and F2 are acting on a body in opposite direction, and so opposite direction में है, ये left में है, ये right में है, and if both the forces are equal, matlab F1 equals to F2, then the resultant force acting on the body is zero. Such forces are called balanced forces. Okay, now since यहाँ पे F1 equals to F2 लिखा है, तो ये बात हो रही है उनके मैग्नीट्यूड की। मतलब अगर F1 की वैल्यू 5 न्यूटन है और F2 की वैल्यू भी 5 न्यूटन्स है, तो मैं बोलूंगी 5 और 5 सेम है, सो आई विल से F1 equals to F2. But sometimes we write it as F1 equals to minus F2. हम कभी कभी माइनस भी लिखते हैं, बट वो माइनस उनकी वैल्यूज की वजह से नहीं है। That minus sign indicates that the second force is acting in opposite direction to the first force. So you can see that the first force is acting in the left hand side and the second force is acting in the right hand side. तो कभी कभी हम इस इक्वेशन में माइनस साइन भी लगाते हैं, such as F1 equals to minus F2, where minus indicates that both the forces are opposite in nature. बट यहाँ पे माइनस नहीं लगाया है, मतलब उनका मैग्नीट्यूड दिया हुआ है। तो जब भी किसी इक्वेशन में नेगेटिव साइन होता है एंड इफ यू टेक द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ बोथ द क्वांटिटीज, द नेगेटिव साइन जस्ट वैनिशेस। ओके, इट जस्ट गोज अवे। सो यू कैन सी हियर, इस इक्वेशन का मतलब है कि ये जो पूरी डेफिनेशन लिखी है, that two forces act in opposite direction and both are equal in nature, so their magnitudes are equal. Please keep this in mind. अगर मैं ऐसी इक्वेशन लिखती हूँ F1 equals to F2, I mean by this equation that their magnitudes are equal, okay, but they are acting in opposite direction. So in such case what will happen, अगर एक ऑब्जेक्ट है, एक ब्लॉक ऑफ वुड रखा हुआ है टेबल पे, और अब यहाँ से एक बच्चा उसे पुल कर रहा है, यहाँ से उसे पुल कर रहा है, और दोनों ही सेम फोर्स से पुल कर रहे हैं, what will happen? If both are pulling the object with same force, the object will not move, right? The object will remain at rest. तो बैलेंस्ड फोर्सेस वो फोर्सेस होते हैं, वो अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट पे है, उस पे बैलेंस्ड फोर्सेस लग रहे हैं, तो वो ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट पे ही रहेगा। ओके, लाइक दिस। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट मूव कर रहा है, इट इज इन मोशन, और उस पर कोई बैलेंस्ड फोर्सेस एक्ट कर रहे हैं, सो इट विल जस्ट कीप मूविंग, इट विल जस्ट रिमेन इन मोशन, इट विल नॉट कम एट रेस्ट। ठीक है। अब अगर हमें उल्टा करना है, मतलब अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट पे है तो मुझे उसे मूव करवाना है, मुझे उससे उसमें मोशन क्रिएट करना है, या फिर अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट मोशन में है, मुझे उसको रेस्ट पे लेके आना है, तो उसके लिए ऑब्जेक्ट पे क्या लगने चाहिए? अनबैलेंस्ड फोर्सेस। मतलब फोर्सेस, वो फोर्सेस जो एक दूसरे को बैलेंस नहीं करते। तो उसके लिए बहुत इजी है, सिंस यहाँ पे यू कैन सी दैट बोथ द फोर्सेस आर इक्वल इन मैग्नीट्यूड। इस केस में क्या होगा? both the forces are not equal in magnitude. Let me read the definition. If two forces act on a body in opposite direction, and तो opposite direction में तो act कर ही रहे हैं, एक right side में, एक left side में, but if one force is greater than other, then the resultant force is not equal to zero. Since in this balanced forces, the resultant का मतलब है the final force, the net force acting on this object is zero, तभी ऑब्जेक्ट मूव नहीं कर रहा है, it is still at rest. But in case of unbalanced forces, you can see that the length of this arrow is also showing कि F1 is greater than F2. ये एक तरीका है दिखाने का कि कौन सा फोर्स बड़ा है, but still you can always give their values ki, for example, let's say F1 is 10 newtons and F2 is 5 newtons. So F1 is greater than F2. We can see that the resultant force will be 10 minus 5, which is equals to 5. तो भाई किस डायरेक्शन में बॉक्स मूव करने लगेगा? जिस डायरेक्शन में ज्यादा फोर्स लग रहा है। Since F1 is greater than F2, the resultant force will make the box move in this direction towards left. Okay. तो जिस डायरेक्शन में फोर्स ज्यादा है, तो रिजल्टेंट फोर्स जो लगेगा, जो ओवरऑल फोर्स लगेगा बॉडी पे, जो फाइनल फोर्स होगा, वो उस बॉडी को मूव करेगा in the direction of the greater force. Alright, so such type of forces, like in this case F1 and F2 are the unbalanced forces. तो ये forces चेंज करते हैं आपकी स्टेट ऑफ रेस्ट को। तो अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट पे है and if you are applying unbalanced forces on the object, it will change its state of rest. If an object is moving and you apply the unbalanced force on the object, you can make the object come at rest. All right. So moving forward, I hope this part is clear to you, what are balanced forces and what are unbalanced forces. So in this video, you will see more visually about the balanced and unbalanced forces. Yeah, so there are two types of forces, balanced and unbalanced forces, as I have already told you, right? Now, consider an activity. Take a cardboard and pull it from one end. So you will see that it will just tries to move to the left hand. Now pull the object towards the right end and you will see it moves in the right end. Now if you just pull the object from both the ends with equal forces, the object remains at rest. Okay, so F1 is equal to, now here you can see that F1 equals to minus F2. So this is a proper equation to write, that F1 equals to minus of F2. Okay, yeah. So let me just move back. Okay. Yeah. So here you can see that F1 equals to minus F2 का मतलब है मैग्नीट्यूड दोनों का सेम है, बस माइनस का मतलब है कि दोनों ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में एक्ट कर रहे हैं। तो हम इस कार्डबोर्ड पे दिस हैंड इज पुलिंग इट इन लेफ्ट डायरेक्शन and this hand is pulling it in right direction. So overall, when you will take minus F2 to the left side, it will minus will become plus. So you will have the net force, the total force is written as F1 plus F2 addition of all the forces, and this net force will give you, just take minus F2 in the left hand side, so you in the right hand side you will have 0. So the net force acting on this cardboard is 0. So the object, the cardboard, does not move. All right. So these are the balanced forces. Now consider another example in which the shape of the object is changing. So in this ball, the ball is squeezed from opposite ends, right? And you see that the ball does not move. There is no motion in the ball. It is at rest. right? It is still at rest. Only what is happening, its shape is changing. So, because of these balanced forces, the ball is still at rest, it's not moving, but on the either sides of the ball, it is compressing, and the same portion is being expanded in upward and downward direction, such that the ball remains at rest. So, this boy is applying the balanced force on this ball to remain to make it at rest. All right. So these were the examples of balanced forces acting on a ball. So moving to the next part, as you all have seen a seesaw and you have played in the seesaw multiple times, right? Yeah. So here you can see one thing. So this is a balanced forces. So two people are sitting on this seesaw, and the force being acted by this person is equal to the force acted by this person. So the seesaw is balanced and no one is moving. It is at rest. Now, let's see that. So in this case, F1 is equal to F2, or you can say minus F2 if you want to see the direction. Now, in this case, what happens? These are the unbalanced forces, right? Because F1 is now greater than F2. जिसकी वजह से the left boy has now pushed downwards and this boy has come upwards. So F1 is greater than F2 and the seesaw starts moving. तो अब वो रेस्ट पे नहीं है और अब वो मूव करने लगा because of the unbalanced forces acting on the seesaw, right? So these were the examples of balanced and unbalanced forces. So let's just look at the definition here. So when we apply a force on any object and an object moves, that is, मतलब क्या है ऑब्जेक्ट मूव होने का जो रिजल्टेंट फोर्स है वो जीरो के इक्वल नहीं है. So the forces are called unbalanced forces. An object in rest can be moved because of applying unbalanced forces. ऑलराइट, तो अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट पे है उसको मूव करवाना है तो आप उस पर अनबैलेंस्ड फोर्सेस अप्लाई करिए, the object will start to move. Okay, so moving to the next part. So the next part here is the Galileo's experiment of motion of an object on an inclined plane. Okay, this experiment, this activity is given in your NCRT PDF also. You can go and read it. It's a very simple activity. So what Galileo wanted to do, he did an experiment with these marble balls and he wanted to study the motion of these balls. Okay, but on an inclined plane. So what is this plane? So just take a cardboard and make an elevation with the ground. तो कुछ एंगल बना हुआ है ग्राउंड से एंड सच दैट दिस थिंग इज नोन एज द इंक्लाइंड प्लेन. So what he did, he observed that when a ball moves downward to the inclined plane, its velocity increases. Okay, and at this point, its velocity is maximum. Now, with this velocity, if you just arrange another inclined plane in its way, the because its velocity is maximum, it will not stop here. So it has this direction to move, and it starts to move in this direction on the second inclined plane. And he observed that the velocity of the ball on this inclined plane decreases when the ball moves upwards. So the experiment, the thing that he observed was that the height of this ball, the ball that reached the second inclined plane, the height was same as the initial height. तो जिस हाइट से बॉल को यहाँ पे ड्रॉप किया था उसी हाइट तक बॉल सेकेंड इंक्लाइन प्लेन पे पहुंचती है और वहीं से फिर वापस आ जाती है एंड दिस मोशन कंटिन्यूज. Okay, then he thought of doing the of changing the experiment by taking the inclined plane lower and lower. तो उसने बहुत सारे inclined plane यूज करे और इनका जो एंगल है एंगल ऑफ एलिवेशन he reduced them like this. Okay, and then he thought what is happening, क्या होगा अगर मैं इस एंगल को lower कर देता हूँ, then what will happen, will the ball reach at the same height as it was dropped? Okay, what will you think, will it reach the same height? Yes, it will reach the same height. So let's just look at this video that I have and we will stop after this experiment and we'll continue with laws of motion in the next lecture. So let's look at this video of Galileo's experiment. All right. Yeah. So Galileo did this experiment of moving the marble ball on in this inclined plane. To consider an inclined plane, a ball is dropped from its height and its velocity increases. Okay, initial velocity is zero, and this height the velocity increases. Now the ball is taken at a certain height on a second inclined plane. Now its initial velocity was maximum, and when it goes upward, its velocity decreases. Now what happens if I take a doubly inclined plane? तो अगर मैं दो inclined plane ले लेती हूँ और उनको face to face रखती हूँ like this, okay? So you see that the ball is going to the second inclined plane, okay, and it is reaching the same height as was the initial height. All right. So what is happening here? You see the angle of inclination, right? Yeah. So the angle of inclination is same in both the cases. So both the inclined planes are at the same inclination, and you see that the distance traveled by the ball in both the cases is same. Okay. Now consider the second case in which the inclination angle is less than the initial inclination angle, and you see that the ball reaches the same level. Okay, the ball reaches the same level in this case. Since you have decreased the inclination, right now the ball reaches the same height जिससे उसको drop किया था, but this time it has covered more distance on this inclined plane. Okay. Now then what he observed that he used another inclined plane with much lesser inclination. तो धीरे धीरे करके वो inclined plane का slope कम कर रहा है. यहाँ थीटा था, यहाँ थीटा से कम हो गया. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से 60 डिग्री है, यहाँ 45 कर दिया, यहाँ पे 30 कर दिया. Now let's see what he observed. So he observed that the marble goes to the top point to the same level जहाँ से उसे drop किया था, but it has covered a more distance this time. Now what will happen if I just take the second angle to be zero? तो अगर मैं एकदम flat कर दूँ, if I don't put any inclination, the ball will just go moving, like it will just move and move on, unless and until there is a frictional force acting on it. So you know that practically it is impossible a ball to just keep moving on a straight line, because in real life there are frictional forces acting on a ball that opposes its motion and makes the ball to come at rest. All right. You know that you can reduce these frictional forces by applying some lubricants on this surface, right? You can at least reduce the frictional force. All right. So yeah, so that was all about the Galileo's experiment with marbles to study its motion. So what he did, he wanted to see कि how the marbles move on inclined plane. तो उसके लिए उसने दो inclined plane लिए. Initially दोनों same angle पे थे. उसने देखा कि जिस height से उसने बॉल को ड्रॉप किया था उसी हाइट तक सेम लेवल तक बॉल जाती है, and it has covered same distance. Why? Because the ball has to reach the same height. In the second case, the inclination को कम कर दिया गया. So the ball started from this point, reached at the same height, but to do that, it has traveled more distance on the second inclined plane. In the third case, since the inclination is reducing, now to reach the same height, the ball has traveled a higher distance on this inclined plane. But if the second inclined plane is removed and the path is straight, the ball will keep moving. Why? Because it wants to reach this height. It wants to reach its initial height जिससे drop हुआ था. So the distance, because इस point में देखेंगे आप कि distance बढ़ता जा रहा है. जैसे जैसे आप inclination को कम कर रहे हो, the distance on this inclined plane is increasing. Now if you just make the inclination zero, the distance becomes infinite, right? डिस्टेंस इतना बढ़ जाएगा कि उसे इन्फिनिट डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल करना पड़ेगा टू रीच इट्स ओरिजिनल हाइट जिससे उसे ड्रॉप किया गया था. बट ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है रियल लाइफ में, बिकॉज देयर आर फ्रिक्शनल फोर्सेस एक्टिंग ऑन द ऑब्जेक्ट्स व्हिच मूव ऑन अ स्ट्रेट लाइन. Okay, so that was all about today's video, and we will be continuing with Newton's laws of motion in the next video.